So there are two types of rays. One is there are two types of rays: meridional rays and skew rays. Meridional rays, the path is easy to trace, whereas the skew rays are not confined to a single plane. So it tend to follow a helical path, and it is not easy to trace. So this diagram shows the path of followed by helical skew rays. Okay, so these rays are more difficult to track. Also, a skew rays constitute a major portion of the total number of guided rays. So their analysis is not necessary. So only meridional rays is sufficient. The analysis of meridional rays is sufficient for this purpose. Okay, and the leaky rays. The leaky rays means a greater power loss arises when skew rays are included in the analysis. Because many of the skew rays that geometry commerce predicts to be trapped in the fiber are actually leaky rays. So they are called the leaky modes. These leaky modes are only partially confined to the core and they attenuate as the light waves travels along the optical fiber. So this partial reflection of the leaky rays cannot be described by pure ray theory alone, but also to be considered. So only it cannot be explained by ray theory alone. So mode theory comes into existence. So the minimum critical angle which we have seen derived is sin phi c equal to n2 by n1. Rays striking the core cladding interface at angles less than phi c will refract out of the core and be lost in the cladding, as the dashed line shows and in the diagram. So in this first diagram, so in this diagram with less than critical angle are refracted. Okay, so this theta c equal to pi by 2 minus phi c, and numerical aperture is given by n sin theta a equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square equal to n1 root del. Since the numerical aperture is related to the acceptance angle, it is commonly used to describe the light acceptance or gathering capability of the fiber. So the numerical aperture determines the light acceptance or gathering capability of the fiber, and to calculate the sourced fiber optical power coupling efficiency. For this, the numerical aperture is an important parameter. It's a dimensionless quantity whose value is less than unity, and values normally ranges from 0.14 to 0.5. So this will be the numerical aperture value. And this problem shows, so we have been given the refractive index, the n1 value has been given, n2 has been given, then you have to find the critical angle. So phi c equal to sin inverse of n2 by n1. Next, that has been asked to calculate the numerical aperture. So NA equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square, and acceptance angle. So theta a equal to sin inverse of NA. So this is how we have to do problems on this. And next we will see about what is wave representation in a dielectric wave slab waveguide. So ray 1, ray 2. So the path travel AB, CD. AB, consider these two paths, AB and CD. So light wave propagating, this diagram shows the light wave propagating along a fiber waveguide. Phase changes occur both as the wave travels through the fiber medium and at the reflection points. So at 2 points phase change occur. So light wave travels through the phase medium, also phase change occur, and also at the reflection points. So here the reflection points AB, CD. So at the reflection points phase change occurs. So we are calculating the phase change. So the ray theory appears to allow rays at any angle greater than the critical angle to propagate along the fiber. However, when the interference effect due to the phase of the plane wave associated with the ray is taken into account, only waves at discrete angles can travel. So at discrete angles are capable of propagating along the fiber. So other than that, waves will not be propagating. So that is the thing which we are, and we are going to calculate what is that discrete discrete angles. Okay. So N1, as we know, N1 there is refractive index of core is greater than N2. There is refractive index of the cladding. So here we are considering a cylindrical. So N1 is considered greater than N2. So N sin theta max equal to N sin theta A equal to N sin theta C equal to root of N1 square minus N2 square. So this is the acceptance angle, and theta less than theta C equal to pi by 2 minus phi C. Okay. So considering this, so we are able to derive that tan del n by 2 equal to root of n square cos square theta 1 minus 1 by n sin theta 1. Okay. So and we are calculating del as minus 2 arc tan of root of cos square theta minus n2 square by n1 square by sin theta. So this is the phase change. This is the phase change. And coming to the mode theory for circular waveguide. So the Maxwell's equations are the basics. So the Maxwell's equations are given by Maxwell's equations that is only transverse electric modes and transverse magnetic modes are found. However, in optical fibers, the core cladding boundary conditions lead to coupling between E and H field. So when considering Maxwell's equations, we have only two modes, that is TM and TE modes. But when we go for optical fiber, the core cladding boundary conditions lead to coupling between the electric field and the TE, that is TE and TM. So the coupling of TE and TM results in two modes called HE and EH modes. HE and EH. So HE hybrid modes. So they are called the hybrid modes. And the two lowest order modes are denoted by HE11 and TE01. Subscript refers to the possible modes of propagation of the optical field. Okay. So the field components, this combination of HE and TE modes are called the linearly polarized modes, LP-JM modes. J and M are integers designating the mode solutions. Okay. LP0M mode is derived from HE1M mode. Okay. So LP1M mode comes from TE0M, TM0M and HE0M mode. So thus the fundamental LP01 mode is called the fundamental mode which exists in single mode fiber. So this corresponds to the HE11 mode. So this diagram shows the zeroth order mode. There is no zero crossing. That is called zeroth order mode. In the first order mode, that is TE1, one zero crossing is there. In second order mode, there are two zero crossings. So here one zero crossing, here zero one crossing. So this is called the second order mode. Electric field distributions for several of lower order guided modes in a symmetrical slab waveguide. And as you know, N1 is greater than N2. And so this diagram has been explained here. This diagram has been explained here. Nothing more than that. So okay. And the V number is calculation is given by V number or is called the cutoff frequency or frequency is given by normalized frequency. V number is called the normalized frequency which is given by 2 pi a by lambda into root of n1 square minus n2 square or 2 pi a by lambda into numerical aperture. It is used to calculate the number of modes, that is m equal to v square by 2. So from the V number we can calculate the number of modes. Okay, so that is m equal to v square by 2. From the knowing of the V number or the normalized frequency we can calculate the number of modes propagating along a fiber. Okay, so this is a problem showing that. So we have been given, first we have to find the V. Radius is given, N1 is given, del is given. So from this we can find V, and from this we can calculate the number of modes as m equal to v square by 2. Okay, so that is the thing. And the ratio of cladding power to total power is given by 4 by 3 root m. So the ratio of what is the power propagating through the cladding to the total power is given by 4 by 3 root m, where P is the total optical power in the fiber. Okay, so this is the thing, and a problem has been solved in this 4 by 3 root m. And the Maxwell's equations are del cross E equal to minus dou B by dou T, del cross H equal to dou D by dou T, delta D equal to 0 and delta D equal to 0, where D equal to epsilon E and B equal to mu H, and the wave equations are del cross E equal to minus epsilon mu dou square E by dou T square. Similarly, there is del square E equal to epsilon mu dou square E by dou T square, and del square H equal to epsilon mu dou square H by dou T square. These two are called the wave equations, fundamental wave equations. And this diagram shows the different modes in step index fiber. So this is HE11 mode. This indicates the TE01, TM01 and HE21 mode. Fiber and different modes diagram has been shown. Okay. So mode is, when a mode is said to being cut off, means if it is no longer bound to the core of the fiber and it decays at the outside of the core. So that is called the cut off mode. And the V number is called the normalized frequency. As I said, V number is called the normalized frequency. And this diagram shows the propagation constant as a function of V. So here the V, and in the y-axis the propagation constant beta has been plotted. Okay, propagation constant for different types of modes. As you know, HE11. So this is the HE11 mode. So this HE11 mode, V number here it is 2.405. So for the single mode fiber, the V number is 2.405. Okay, the parameter V will be related to the number of modes. Okay, so these are the formula which you have seen. Linearly polarized modes, LP mode. So how an LP mode is derived? So that is, it is derived from HEV plus 1 comma m and EH V minus 1 comma m. So these modes are degenerate. Okay, so how it is derived? So let us look at this table. So LP01. So LP11 and LP21 are derived from HE11 cross 2, TE01, TM101, HE21 into 2, and EH11 into 2, HE21, 2. So LP02 means LP12 into 2, LP12 into 2. From this mode, LP31 means So they just reduce one number from this. 3 1 means 2 1. So EH21 and add one number. So He41. EH21 He41. Similarly LP12 means T is 0. Reduce na 0 0 2. Add means 2 2. So He22. Like that number of degenerate modes have been calculated. So the different linearly polarized modes arise from the combination of these hybrid modes EH and He modes. This diagram shows the propagation constant B as a function of V for various LPJM modes. Okay, and this is how a combination of two modes will give rise to a combination of He and TE give rise to linearly polarized mode. Okay, LP11, LP11 mode, horizontal polarization and vertical polarization. Two polarized waves are being there. That is what has been explained here. Next is single mode fiber construction. Single mode fibers are constructed. There is only one mode propagates through that single mode fiber, and here V is equal to 2.405 and only one mode travels, that is LP01 mode. Okay, mode field diameter for multimode fibers, the core diameter and numerical aperture are key parameters. So we have discussed a lot about the multimode fiber where the numerical aperture and core diameter plays an important role. In single mode fibers, the fundamental parameter is the mode field diameter. Mode field diameter is determined from the mode field distribution of the fundamental fiber mode. It is a function of the optical source wavelength, core radius and the refractive index profile. Okay, so this diagram shows the mode field diameter. So it is maximum. So the E field is maximum at the center and it is decaying at the when it moves to the clad. That is 1 by E square. It is defined. It is varies as 1 by E square. Okay, so that is what we have been given here. So this expression shows the expression for mode field diameter, and this W naught shows the width. So here this is the W naught. This is the W naught. 2 W naught. This is the 2 W naught. Okay, so this is about the single mode fiber, and what are these are the propagation modes in single mode fiber: horizontal mode and vertical mode. Two polarizations of the fundamental He11 mode in a single mode fiber. Okay, so this is horizontal and vertical polarization. It is been shown here. And fiber beat length, the formula is LP equal to 2 pi by beta. So the length over which this beating occurs. So beating means if the light is injected into the fiber so that both modes are excited, then one will be delayed in phase with respect to the other. So at a particular point, that is when this phase difference is an integral multiple of 2, the two modes, that is horizontal and vertical modes, will beat at this point, and this input polarization state will be reproduced. So that is called the beat length, LP equal to 2 pi by beta. So this is about the single mode fiber. Next, coming to the graded index fiber structure, the profile is decaying. That is a refractive index decreases as the radius increases. So this is a formula for the refractive index profile. So for R lying between 0 and A, this is the formula to calculate refractive index, and for R greater than or equal to A, this is the formula to calculate the refractive index, where alpha defines the shape of the index profile. So parabolic like that we can have. Alpha indicates the shape of the refractive index. Okay, this is the expression for refractive index change del N1 minus N2 by N1. Okay, so this is about the graded index refracts fiber, and the numerical aperture for a graded index fiber is NA of R equal to NA of 0 at any radius between 0 to A is given by NA of 0 into root of 1 minus R by A the whole power alpha. Alpha, as I said, is a dimensionless quantity and it is profile, index profile. Okay, so this figure shows the numerical apertures of fibers having various core index profiles, and this is the formula for the numerical index, and mg equal to v square by 4, whereas this is for graded index. Okay, for step index it is m equal to v square by 2 we have calculated. Here v square by 4, which is half the number of modes supported by the step index fiber. Okay, so this formula, this problem shows how to calculate the number of modes in a graded index fiber.